back to another trek through the dungeon. Our learning stream for getting your first win is nearing a finish. I don't think we get there today, but I do think we're close. And how close is, well, we are standing at the door of Zot. We have nearly maxed every defense skill. Well, one defense skill, two defense skills. We've got two defense skills that are doing quite solidly, and our weapon skill is beyond min delay. So truly, we've got everything we need to win. In theory, you could get evocations and throwing up to make your character more powerful. In practice, you don't need it. Uh, we're 3 runes in, so we're about to walk into the door of Zot, which we shall do now with much aplomb. Before I take even a single step, though, I want to go over what is Zot, for those of you who've never been. There are 5 or 6 things that you really will encounter that you should be ready to answer. The first is Draconians. There are Gold Dragons, Shadow Dragons, Storm Dragons, which are just horrifically powerful dragons that blast you with Poison Breath typically, negative energy blast, and electrical blast. You'll also probably see, I don't know why they're not on here, but you'll definitely see fire breathing dragons as well. Um, and I'm pretty sure ice dragons as well. Then there's the Draconians. These form the bread and butter fighters of Zot. Uh, and they also range in their ability to use powerful conjurations, brute melee tactics, fire, creating lava tiles and damnation, etc. I don't usually take the time to understand each of these individually. I just very happily beat all of them down with my same standard tactic I've always told you: get them into a 1v1, lock them down, and kill them. These guys, if you are playing a melee brute, should be more or less manageable. The biggest thing to bear in mind are two. Firstly, resistances matter. Try to have a good panel of resistances, one of each, or more, of course, but one of each. And second, the invisibility factor. At this stage of the game, you're used to most enemies seeing invisible. Those guys don't. So use that to your advantage. Second thing, so that's one set of threats. Second threat, Moth of Wrath. You've probably seen a Moth of Wrath before. If the Moth of Wrath triggers Berserk on already strong enemies, it's extremely dangerous. You'd be well served to back off, let the Berserk go away. Unless you're very confident that it's an isolated 1v1, you can get pretty hurt. Especially because you'll Berserk back, you'll deal with the Berserk threat, then you'll be weak, and the next threat will come, and the next threat will come. Things to be aware of: Dispelling Breath. Quicksilver Dragons and I want to say Purple Draconians can wipe away buffs that are on your character. So if that happens to you, be aware of it. Death Cobs move fast, hit hard, and slow you. So want to be careful about getting slowed. Tentacle Monstrosities. Hey there, clown. Good to see you. Tentacle Monstrosities beat the crap out of you and squeeze you with constriction. Honestly, though, when I'm looking over all of these, my calculus is very simple. If I'm a berserking minotaur, none of these things are very threatening 1v1. Any of these things are threatening 5v1. So it really just comes down to the same tactic I've told you 1,000 times. Get him into melee, hug the stairs, keep him 1v1, use fog, use dig wands. Don't get caught out in the open. That's how you survive. Now the harder ones. Curse Toe. This bad boy can cut your health in half instantly. He has the ability called Symbol of Torment that drops your HP into 50%. That's partially resisted by Resist Necro, but truly think of it as 50%, you're on the right track. So imagine that you're a hulking Minotaur with 230 HP and you're feeling pretty good and you hit him, and then your health is 110. You hit him again and your health is 50. Bet you don't feel so hulking right now, huh? Worse, he can summon mushrooms around you. And mushrooms have the ability to confuse you if they hit you. So you can find yourself at half health, confused, trying to drink a curing potion to get out of confusion, only to then, bam, be hit by another torment and die. I don't think that that's an extremely likely scenario, but it is a reason to be very cautious when you see a cursed toe. Usually, seeing a cursed toe is enough to make me leave the screen or make sure that I'm in a much safer position. I do not ever want to get caught out against a cursed toe uh, where other things are dealing with me. Orb Guardians are fine. They're just big bags of meat. As long as you're strong, they're strong. Don't get 7v1, you'll be fine. Electric Golem, it's fine. As long as you resist electricity, his electric blast don't do much damage, you'll be fine. Protean Progenitor, whatever, just hit him twice, that's fine. These bad boys, the Liches, can fire extremely powerful blast attacks that can kill you in just a couple hits. Nothing you can do about it. Just, pre-Zerk if you're nervous. Make sure you've got control of the situation. If you don't see invisible, be wary of their invisibility. It's fine. Killer Clowns, on their own, they don't tend to be that big a deal. It's when they disable you in some way and then other monsters dogpile on you. I guess really it comes down to don't let these guys 5v1 you. Try very hard for 1v1. Um, Clown is saying the same thing I am. Try to get them into 1v1, and the tactic he's recommending is correct. Turn a corner on the casters to break LOS. Exactly. If you're standing in the open and letting them shoot you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns, that's 5 turns you don't need. You could just let them walk up to you. Special considerations. If you are a berserking troglodyte, at some point in the game you've been given an anti-magic axe by now. Even if that's not your primary weapon, which in this case it is because it's our strongest, but definitely switch out to an anti-magic axe against 1, 2, 3, 4 enemies because these guys use mana to cast their spells. If you hit them a couple times, they're out of mana. I've saved the worst for last. It's the Orb of Fire. We may not encounter one today, but if we do, you need to know that this enemy, apart from just blasting you with a ton of fire, which the name implies, has Malmutate. When fighting against him, you are going to get mutated probably, at least once, if not many times. When that happens, you don't really have a choice. You gotta let it happen, and then Shift A, look at your mutation list, and if your mutation is survivable, strength -2, HP -10%, int -1, whatever, just deal with it. If your mutation is unsurvivable, like you get randomly teleported to monsters, for example, or what's another good example of an unsurvivable mutation? Cannot drink potions when your health is down. Then yeah, then you're stuck. You gotta get rid of it. We have 10 potions of mutation. A potion of mutation is a bundle of three things: cure mutation, give beneficial mutation, and give random mutation, or something like that. So you might drink a potion of mutation and get a worse mutation. You might drink a potion of mutation and clear all your mutations. You might drink a potion of mutation, clear what you've got, and gain a new good mutation, etc., etc. So sometimes you just have to play the roulette, drink one or two to get to where you need to be. Your goal with mutations is not a perfect germline. Your goal with mutations is just to improve to survivable. That's all you want. Hi, Jeb. Bye, Jeb. So I think that's enough chit chat. Let's get rolling. Do not hesitate to take your time in Zot. If you have spare scrolls of revelation, spare scrolls of whatever, use them up because this is the last time that you'll need them. Scrolls of blinking are worth and fog are worth their weight in gold here. Fear is a lot less valuable because most monsters have by now, skilled past vulnerability to fear. So let's pick up some stuff. Pick up some stuff. Oh, right off the bat, we get ourselves into a situation here. Big, strong-looking humanoid, Pargit the Mighty, lethal threat, massive will, massive AC, 120 HP. This is a situation where I have very good vision on much of what's around me. I'm pretty sure I can survive being unberserked. So at this point, if I berserk him 1v1, I almost certainly win. If I don't berserk him, he probably hurts me enough that I can't berserk mid-fight because my HP gain would be too little. So I end up trying to limp away by using resources to get back up here. If I exit, he can bull guard the exit by chasing me to here. And now when I end up coming in, I have to come in up against him. So truly, this is a situation where, how have I described it before? If you berserk, know how the fight will end. Know that the berserk will end the fight. This is a fight that the berserk should end the fight. If somehow it doesn't, I'm going to have to use blink scrolls or cancellation depending how low my HP is. So I think we're good. Let's go for it. I mean, look at that. His odds of even dodging me are very low. 80% to hit each time. So Zerk, smack, 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 smack. So that was what, like 10 attacks more? Imagine doing that at low speed. He would have hurt a lot more. And as a troll, his regeneration would have been massive. And oh my god, game, why? Why do you do this? Here I am trying to show how you can win with no loot and good tactics, and the game gives me a +9 Dragon Stale. Alright, so definitive best armors in the game for a Berserker are heavily enchanted crystal plate armor because it's crystal plate and it comes in at an AC of, well, let's find out, an AC of 14 that can go up to +14 on top, right? Which is just great armor class. But you don't usually find that in the game. It doesn't naturally occur anywhere in the game. Killing gold dragons is a great way to get gold dragon armor, naturally. And gold dragon armor is the actual best because its base AC is only 2 less, but it gives a little bit of fire, cold, and poison resistance, which even on our extremely jacked character we could use, right? Well, it turns out this happens to be a +9 enchanted uh version, which is even better than average. So, I don't know, game. Why are you so good to me? Let's go ahead and put that on, shall we? By the way, this character is invincible right now and can't possibly die is the kind of attitude that gets a character killed. This character is absolutely jacked and can still die to hubris. So we're going to not use this as an excuse to play poorly, but wow, it's making it hard. I wonder if I can put on this slayage ring now that I don't need resist poison. Probably. It cost me a pip of resist cold, which I can more than afford. It cost me a little AC, but I'm way over on AC already. You guys don't have to worry about this. As beginner play, don't worry about this kind of juggling. This is just me trying to get this number as high as possible because I don't usually see 64 plus 22 in my games. I have many wins that don't come close to this. Yeah. Okay. Why we're carrying around basic rings of protection from cold and fire at this stage is beyond me when we're in the process of dropping rings that are 10 times stronger. All right, back into the realm of Zot. We now have put on the best gear we were hoping for. We can technically look for the word enchant to find more enchant armors to maximally enchant it, and you know what? We should, so we will. Please maximally enchant our armor. Word enchant. This is killing my score, my in-game score, because I am wasting so many turns traveling around the dungeon. But I don't actually care about my in-game score because I'm just going for my first win, right? Well, in theory. So always, always maximizing your odds is good. +2 AC. And we're never going to use enchant armor again this game, so it's not like I'm wasting those scrolls. Death Cob. Nothing to worry about, just kick his ass. Again. Oh, shields is hit 27. It's all coming in now. Uh, Again, remember, concentric circles around your escape. Always revealing, always keeping things to the known, hiding behind corners so that enemies have to walk up to your face. What I like to call basic tactics. Basic tactics. Man, that +3 plate armor should have been really good. I would have been very happy to win a game in +3 plate armor. Charge him down, cut him up. Okay. Big melee brute that can constrict, no problem. Just kick his ass. Look at that. He didn't even get 1 HP off of us. So, knowing, oh my god, seriously, game? Oh, trying to prove a point here. Give me the obsidian axe, seriously? And the bear spirit hat? I mean, I'm gonna take it, but guys, I don't usually get half this much loot in a game. I promise these tactics work without it, but uh, Obsidian Axe is a trap also though. Like, yeah, Obsidian Axe mesmerizes you towards every enemy that you see. So it's kind of it's an edge case. You can deal with it, but it's better to just not in a beginner game do that. Yeah. We have a +8 broad axe. We don't need it. It's fine. It's fine. Technically speaking, switching this on actually hurts my resistance to fire, regen, and slay. Actually not sure that I care that much about the extra will points. Spirit, Bear, and Rage. Yeah, we're good. Technically, Bear is... This is the best hat for a Berserker, typically. But what I've got actually serves my needs better. So right here, I'm technically open on the flank. Engaging with this guy is a tactical choice. But now that I've done that, I'm going to run away so that he has to follow me, get around a corner, and wait for him. I did not want to cross those 5 squares to the unknown, let him come to me, and then dead. And see how wise I was? I would have been attacked by both of them the whole way in. Ground the corner, and look, they're all funneling into me because of my choices. Now here's another tactic. I'm going to walk away so that he follows, so that these guys can't shoot at me while I run away. Because they're not going to shoot their own ally. This is a risky spot to stand because that trap is going to get triggered potentially. So we're going to go this way instead. Now we're very happy to stand and fight here. We've minimized the number of enemies that can attack at once. I can always take a step back to reduce it even further. Those hulks, if you leave them too long, become big enemies, but honestly nothing that a berserker can't handle as long as you keep it to 1 or 2v1 at a time. There, that's one of the big enemies. He just got cut down. See, this is what you want to avoid. 4 draconians at once. Much safer when they're like this and they're funneling one at a time. And they can't cast summon, blink around, and do this. When you're in this situation, weigh your options. You could stand and fight, and that's perfectly reasonable if you're not going to get confused, galed, etc. Or you could use one of your precious blink scrolls to get out, or your butterflies to force them away. Or you could berserk, but again, what have I taught you guys about berserk? Don't berserk if you don't know how the fight's going to end. I don't know how this fight's going to end. There could be more enemies behind these guys. I am not berserking here. All right, so far so good. I could charge back to keep attacking him, but I would much rather do this and make them come to me through that open door so that I can continue to hurt them 1 to 2 at a time. That shifter who's blinking them around is making the tactical positioning harder, but whatever, we made it through. Now I'm auto-traveling because, greedy. Alright, we're good. Zot 1's done. I mean, that was, if not all the enemies, certainly most of the enemies, so now I can be comfortable being a little bit more brash in my movements. And that's how a lot of floors play out, honestly. There's a few major pockets of enemies, and once you've dealt with the major bulk of the enemies, what's left is clean up. There's another overarching strategy to Zot that I should mention here, but I'm not advising. And that is to just dive. Just go down a floor, down a floor, down a floor, and get out. If your character is kind of sort of weak to be in Zot in the first place, that is a very reasonable choice to make so that you don't have to be exposed to numerous Zot scenarios. Uh, it does run the risk of you getting shafted, surrounded, no way out, or burned on the escape. It is much better score-wise to do the least zotting that you have to. Notice, by the way, how, again, I really try to funnel them into me 1 at a time so that I can't get shot at while I'm waiting for them. Shifter can't attack me if he can't see me. Alright, cool. And yet, all these precautions are being taken despite the fact that at the end of the day, I am strong enough to stand my ground against them for the most part. Very little these guys can actually do to actually hurt me at this stage. But that doesn't mean that we played poorly. All right, Zot one's clear. So yeah, so you can, in fact, like I could have cleared this area, this little circle, found this staircase, and immediately ducked in without having explored the whole floor. And that would have been a safe bet, because then I would have been here, or equivalent, and again, I'm just trying to clear a nice medium size. Okay, by the way, that Berserk Dragon, 1v1, no problem. But now we're going to deal with the Moth of Wrath immediately. We don't want to end up in a situation like this where we're berserked by the Moth, not by us, limping, and he's got allies coming in that he can berserk against our slow, unberserked self. That's the scenario we want to avoid. But yeah, that's not apparently going to be the. Ooh, that looks like a halo. I don't know what could make a halo here, but I would rather, whatever it is, I be as close to the stairs as possible when it lands. Just a generic angel. I didn't know those spawned in here. Alright, going back to that hypothetical where we dived one floor and we ended up here. This is the problem with that strategy. I don't have a beachhead upstairs. I'm looking to retreat in this situation because I'm getting 5v1'd. At any time this goes south, I need to bail. And now, instead of retreating into a safety, I would retreat into a less safety. But you know what? It's still a viable tactic because if I've cleared a little bit of space around it, I can just resume exploring upstairs now in my hypothetical. We win this fight. Let's just step in and then yeah, use the axe power to take them all out. Alternatively, I could have pulled them upstairs if I didn't know I could win that fight. And I mean, I've made a big deal about how much good loot that I've got in this game, and that is a big deal. But honestly, this is not actually an unusual situation for your end game character to have this much power as a berserker. You will win most fights 1v1. There are very few things that can survive a raging, highly trained, axe wielding, armored berserker minotaur with 200 HP, right? It's just that many monsters won't fight fair. They'll confuse you, they'll they'll wait out your berserk and then get you in your limp. They'll put you into a 5v1. They'll hit you with elemental weaknesses. They'll cast you into the abyss. And that's how you lose fights. Basic strategy and tactics to force fights to not go that way are the way that you can stay safe. And no amount of power will survive a lack of basic strategy and tactics. Basic strategy will make you this powerful. Basic tactics will let you leverage that power to win. Notice that I am kind of sort of avoiding the inner core of the floor while staying near my stairs. That's because the most likely place to get surrounded is the middle of the floor. So naturally, that's where I would like to not be. Okay, we have attracted attention. That trap is a disto trap, distortion. You do not want a dispersal. You do not want to be within line of sight of it because any enemy, yourself or anyone else who steps in it, will automatically scramble the positions of all the creatures, which means you could end up here and they could end up there, or all four of them could end up here. And if God forbid they end up next to the trap, they might approach you again, and then boom, disto again. So you might try to blink out of the situation, and they'll reset the problem. Try to never fight within range of a link of that trap unless you have to, obviously, because everything that I've taught about strategic positioning and tactics cannot be performed in that situation. Again, we turn the corner so that we're only fighting one at a time as much as possible. Oop! Remember how I warned you that the clown can invoke statuses on you? He just managed to get me silenced, which by itself isn't bad. But silence plus paralysis plus confusion plus summoned enemies, which are summoning new enemies. This is becoming a bad situation quickly. And I'm silenced, so I can't read fear or evoke my Berserk Rage. So you see how this situation has gone from completely survivable to not good. I am going to drop clouds to help me win this fight. And now that I'm not silenced, I'm going to turn on my regeneration. I still think I take this fight, but we need to focus on the Broodmother and the Clown, because they're the ones summoning the enemies and invoking the statuses. When they're dead, this whole situation goes away. See how valuable putting those clouds out was? Without that, I wouldn't have had the passive damage. And honestly, remembering you have tools like that is why when you're in a bad situation, don't play fast. Take your hands off the keyboard, look at your items, and decide what the most aggressive strategy that you can do is. Shouting and then backing up. I don't want to get distortioned or dispersaled. Looks like we're okay. This seems like an empty chamber. Oh, clown. Beat him up. He's done. All right, moving on. Wow, I moved too fast. Um, could pop a potion of invisibility here just to be strong against these guys and then just take them on, or could just back away. Clown is making a really good point here. And different people will feel differently, but if you're in a life or death situation, you can in fact just turn off the game, take a break, drop a dump and ask for help, go to the Discord and be like, what should I do? These are all viable options. Buy yourself some time to really think about the situation instead of what I like to call getting caught in Vietnam, where you're fighting and fighting and you have no exit strategy. But there is a downside to this as well, which is if you take a day not playing, you're probably not intuitively thinking of how strong your character is anymore. Your instinct for how strong you are is off. But uh, playing while you're sleepy and bored and I just want this to be done is a great way to just make suicidal tab should be fine decisions instead of I'm not going to let this game fail decisions. I'm walking to that staircase. I'm trying to decide if I have enough health to do it. I think I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. Again, you can't take that red staircase if you didn't clear the upstairs because you have no idea where it will land you. So I don't consider diving to be a beginner tactic. I consider it to be a more advanced tactic. Oh, these guys have reach weapons. That's why they're not following me to the stairs. So I'm forced to fight them in a tactically less fun situation. I'm getting corroded by this ring quite a bit, actually. I don't think the AC bonus is necessarily worth it. Or sorry, the slay bonus is necessarily worth it. I'm going to swap this back because being corroded reduces my effectiveness a lot. And I would rather high roll less. Okay, so we're very far from stairs right now, and my hair is tingling. I'm going to travel back to here, and once again, follow my own advice of always taking the easiest experience available. There are a lot of angels on this floor, man. I don't usually see angels in Zot, period. They're definitely not the bread and butter. Okay, so we are getting somewhere. Slightly advanced tactic, but worth teaching. I'm going to dip down here, make sure this is a safe retreat spot. Make it safe, I mean. Boop. Boop. Alright. I'm not ready for Zot 3 until I've done the floor above, obviously. But now I have another safe retreat staircase that I can use to continue exploring Zot 2. If, God forbid, right now 4 orbs of fire came out of here, each blasted me with a fireball, dropped me to 120 HP, I took 2 steps, and I was down to 50 HP, I could blink scroll to here, dive here, and be safe. If I hadn't explored that staircase, I would have to get that far. That's a lot farther to run. And look, exactly the scenario I described. There's a cursed toe. I hate fighting cursed toes. I hate fighting them out in the open. I hate fighting them where they could win. So we are going to immediately fog so it can't see me. Turn this corner. Turn up my regeneration and wait for it. And when it comes to me, berserk and just kill it. as hard as possible. So far, it died faster than it could torment. That's the best outcome. If it looks like I'm over worrying about that enemy, you haven't seen how fast you can lose a game against that guy. It's really scary. Uh, Better players than me might be less nervous. I don't know. I mean, I do have 2 points of resist necro. I usually don't have that much, but yeah, the cursed toe is not to be trifled with. It's one of the only enemies in Zot that can win all by itself against even a strong character. This is a bad fight. I would literally rather just get pelted all the way to the corner and then have a corner to fight around. Greet them 3 and 4v1. Shard Trike. I'd like you to come to me. I'm not going to come to you. I could use a dig wand here, to be honest, just to make a better kill hole, but it'd be a waste of a charge. I already know I can win this fight. But that's an option, to dig into the wall and then produce a safe haven to fight from. Why is that Shard Trike not coming to me? Come here, boyo. I ain't coming to you. Oh my god, look at it. It's using surround logic to avoid me. Alright, done. Auto explore finish. We got this. Auto explore finish. We got this. Angel. Die. Okay. Couple floors of Zot down. How is my time? I might actually have to quit this run halfway. We already did this staircase. We'll do another one. Moth of Wrath. It's dead. It's actually pronounced Wrath, but it's just more fun to say Mothroth. So yeah, again, Zod is intimidating. It's like Depths, except with the added bonus of you know how in the vaults I said there's a variety of strong monsters, but here's a couple special to vaults. Zot's the same way. It's a lot of strong draconians, a lot of meat, and a lot of elemental damage, but the specific things you're watching out for are this cursed toe, this guy. Ooh, I actually don't know anything about this guy. I'm sorry. I've always won this fight by just beating the crap out of him. It looks like anti-magic works against his extremely powerful magics, so just whip out an anti-magic axe and hit him really hard. But he's got 270 HP, so we're going to secure this win by doing this. We're going to drop an ally of Trog, so that there's 2 of us versus 1 of him anti-magic, so he's 100% just going to die. I don't know how much of that was necessary, and I don't care. I'd rather just win that fight, honestly. I've got plenty of piety. I'm going to get plenty of it back. Using your ally of Trog as a means of avoiding having to berserk is also really nice. If you're berserking just to increase your DPS in a situation, very often dropping an ally so the ally is berserked and you aren't, and you can still then, drink 4 heal wounds in a row to gain 80 HP is really nice. Turn the corner, beat you guys up, or read a blink scroll or butterflies or whatever to get out or dodge. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, and just finish this floor, I guess. Oh, cursed toe at the worst possible place and time. I could retreat to here, but it's not a great retreat. I could retreat 1, 2, 3, dig a kill hole and wait here, but it could come wide, and that's 3 turns out of range of it. Fog is probably my best bet to stay safe. Let it come to me through the fog. Nope, that's not good. See, instinctively I wanted to attack and win, but I could very easily attack and lose. So I'm going to teleport since I've already cleared the whole floor and be relatively safe teleporting. It tormented and I'm already down to 150 HP. I didn't get confused though, so that's something. We're just going to back off. Fog is still keeping us safe here. Okay, we got full HP. Get me to the nearest safe staircase. That one's good. Wait on the stairs until it comes to me. There it is again. Why don't you come to me a little closer? Why don't you come to me a little closer? There you are. Just beat you up. It did get another torment in, by the way. And look how brutally that injures me, by the way. So, yeah, dangerous, dangerous enemy. Now, sad truth is, if I had just tab fought my way through the first round when it summoned all those enemies around me, I would probably have been fine. Probably. And that might breed in me the false expectation that being surrounded by funguses with a curse toe on screen isn't that big a deal. That's the difference between winning the game consistently and losing the game. The knowledge that an 80% chance, a 90% chance of victory is really just a 10% chance, 20% chance of failure. Okay, both these stairs are really bad to go in and out of. Let's try the third one. Much safer. Oh, we got the ideal fight. Turn 1 Berserk kill with a nearby staircase to sleep it off. Notice that I even took the time to go back upstairs to sleep off my slow Berserk. I don't have this floor well explored yet. I have no idea what could be around that corner. I'm not going to rest over here. Do I have two? I have 2 Revelation Scrolls and there are 2 floors left in the game, so I can afford to do this now. I'm not saving these Revelation Scrolls for anything else. Let's take a good look at the layout. Okay, our back is to a wall here. There's a lot of very tight, clustery halls that get harder and harder to navigate. We are going to have to fight this mess at some point. And that's okay. That's not a game-ending challenge for us. Now, if we were a paper-thin mage or something, we would have a harder time. All right. Moth, would you kindly come to us? All alone with no ability except to berserk us. Thank you. Man, I do not feel comfortable. My head is so far in, I have no retreat. I'm going to back off, go this way instead. Not feeling comfortable putting your head too far in is really good. Oh! Something's attacking me and I can't see it. We're going to walk to the narrow, thin hallway so that the ghost moth only has one place to be and then beat it up there. That's how you deal with an invisible enemy. Just get into a tight spot so that there's only a couple spaces it can be in. Or in the case of being a axe user, just axe it. Curse toe. We will burn a fog here again. It's sad how many I've had to use over this guy, but well worth it to not constantly be at half HP. No bad mutations. Not that we've seen anything that can mutate us yet, but oh, we just got marked. So every enemy from the floor is coming to us. Nothing we can do about that. Let's just get to the staircase and stay here as long as possible to draw as many enemies in this direction to a nice safe retreat as I can. I'm very comfortable here. Why don't you all come to me? I want to be on my easiest get out of jail free card as possible. All those enemies that were right here came after me because of the mark. So this is kind of better than putting my head in deep, was making them come to me. In fact, I'm tempted to forget the squares I've auto explored to go searching which of them have been filled with monsters. Don't need to do that though. That's kind of a little extreme. Let's just beat up everything and just win. All right, putting our head pretty far in here, backing off. At this point, the risk of being ambushed and attacked here, in my opinion, is higher than taking on that ambush there. So we're going to go on another staircase. One icer. The summonings are the real difficulty here. So let's wait out the summons and go back. Immediately butcher the summoner. And you know what? We can take these guys on. So we'll take these guys on. Pull, kill, down, pull, kill, down, pull, kill, down. Anybody else? No? We good? All right. The floor was fully decompressed between the mark and the tiptoeing we've done, so we can literally just auto travel the rest of it. and be just fine, hopefully. Auto travel and finish, finish, finish. We're done. That leaves us with the final floor of the game, the ultimate challenge, the place where more runs are actually not that many runs are lost, but the most dangerous place in a 3-rune run, except maybe Vaults 5, is Zot 5. And unfortunately, how you take on Zot 5 deserves to be its own video, in my opinion. There's a lot of little tricks and strategies, and given that by the time you get here, you've 95% won the game, so it's really disheartening to lose. I will give it as much respect as I can in teaching how to win here, and I'll show you every little trick that I know on my melee characters. Unfortunately, my mages have a lot more tricks than my melees do here, but whatever. For the time being, I'm going to call it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, also, thank you guys so much for all of the feedback and the comments and everything. This has been a real treat. Being able to do this project with you guys and for you guys, and I do hope this helps at least somebody get their win. Please spread the word on this video series. Share, like, subscribe, blah blah blah, and ask questions in the comments, whatever you have, so that on YouTube especially, so that I can respond and we can immortalize answers to any questions you all might have or clarifications. All right. Thanks so much again. Uh oh, to address something that's come up. Yeah, I know a Minotaur Berserker isn't quote the most interesting character, and that's okay. I mean, I first learned to play this game purely by playing troll berserkers and throwing them until the lair because it was the only way I could get past the first 9 floors. Um, and it's nice to see a little bit more of the game earlier on, get a sense of what's to come before branching out. And that's fine. Other people prefer playing it a different way, and if this is your 10th roguelike, yeah, even more so probably you feel that way. This is my first. Um, I do have plenty of content covering non-MiBes, and feel free to look over all my other videos for that. YouTube does a better job archiving those. All right, that's all I got. If there's a push for me to do more tutorializing, I can do that, of course. But anyway, that's all I got. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.